Hey guys, this is another video from my cichlid tank. I just fed my cichlids, so they're kind of going a little bit crazy right now. But yeah, this is my new 20-gallon long cichlid tank. I just got some new fish in actually. I got a Demasoni, a Kenny assorted. I got a juvenile AC and a red-banded Maury, along with my full-grown Afra. As you can see, I mean, for the most part, the Afra, the full-grown, is getting along with all my fish easily. Like, he's not picking on them or anything like that. So, people tend to give full-grown cichlids a bad rap, but for the most part, I mean, he lets them do their thing. He doesn't pick on them. He lets them eat. He's almost like their guardian. He almost protects them half the time. So, I don't see why people give them such a bad rap, because, to be honest with you, they don't usually pick on them. Every full grown I've had anyways. So I mean, some viewers have been asking me some questions about cichlid tanks and how to set them up and stuff like that. Mine is this is probably not the most orthodox way to set up a tank, but it really does work. Your main ingredients you're really going to need is make sure your water temperature is good. Make sure you have enough gravel. I usually put about, for each gallon, of at least a pound of gravel. What that does is it sucks up the ammonia and the waste in the tanks, and that'll make a cleaner tank. For me, I recommend a filter that's going to be above what it says it does. So for a 20-gallon, I'd at least go for a 25 or 30-gallon filter like I do. The filter I have actually in this tank is a Power 150 Marineland with its bio wheel. The bio wheel is the most important thing of this filter, because what it does is it takes in, obviously, and cleans the water, but for the most part, it takes in good bacteria and supplies it into the tank, which is a super good added feature. And it doesn't, I mean, the filter itself cost me probably about 30 bucks. So, to be honest with you, that's a really good price for what it does. Now, the other big thing about a cichlid tank is you need to make sure there's a lot of hiding room. As you can see, I have a ton of plants in here. You have to make sure you have a ton of plants for cichlids, or they will fight. That's the biggest key to cichlid tanks. Just make sure there's a lot of structure and scenery in your tank. The next thing is a bubbler. You want to oxygenize your tank. I know everybody thinks fish don't need oxygen, but they really do. It helps the tank out a lot. It might put a lot of algae in your tank, because algae thrives off oxygen. But it's not a big deal. You'd rather have algae than dead fish. So. Now on to the next thing. People have been asking me what's a really good food for cichlids. If you're trying to keep them in a steady diet, Hikari has a really good food. It's real good for trying to keep the same size, but it does really enhance their color. But this is not for juvenile cichlids. I wouldn't give these to them because there's not enough protein in it. The proteins would helps them really grow into what they need to look like. So this is more for half-grown to full-size cichlid, Oscars, Afras, ACs, whatever you want, as long as they're about half-grown. People always ask me what water conditioner I use. Personally, I mean, they're all similar. I like Jungle because it's actually it's a really cheap water conditioner, but it also has aloe vera in it, which is really helpful. Kind of keeps the algae away. It has a slime coat and obviously conditions the water. So it's a 3-for-1. It's about $5 for that bottle, which will last you at least a couple water changes. Next thing people have been asking me is what to feed your cichlids if you don't want to feed them just flakes every day. Algae wafers are actually a really good dietary supplement for your African cichlids. It's not a diet by itself. They can't just live off algae because of the protein content. But if you want to throw about 1 or 2 of these in a day when you feed them your crisps or your flakes or your pellets, that's a really good idea. It adds a lot to their color, gives them a little bit of algae and a little bit more protein that they need. So that's my 2 cents on that. Tetra makes a pretty decent food, but the other food I really like is the omega-1. Very good. It lasts a while. It's pretty much packed with the most protein out of any fish food I've seen at local pet stores, for pretty much the exact same price. So that's a really good one to use as well. Again, I mean, that's my 20 gallon. I also have a 10 gallon over here. And let me teach you a little bit something about cichlids that you might not know. This guy was actually in my 20 gallon with my juveniles and my full grown. And he liked to kind of pick on the juveniles a lot. So, and the hierarchy of cichlids, if you actually take out the most aggressive one in the tank and kind of isolate them for about a week, they actually tend to be a lot more docile towards the fish when they are reintroduced into the tank. I mean, this guy's pretty cool. He's really sweet. He always comes with the tank, but he's got a kind of an aggression issue with other cichlids. I believe he's a yellow lab. I'm not sure. The stripes on his fin are kind of iffy on what he is, but I know he's a male by the anal fin, if you see those little dots on there. But yeah, if you actually isolate a cichlid that is being super aggressive and you introduce him about a week later, you should see a huge night and day difference from his aggression. The second aggressive will be the most dominant, and sometimes the second aggressive isn't that aggressive, so you'll have kind of an even balanced tank. So you're not hurting the fish. Cichlids are very hardy fish. The stress really doesn't do that much to them compared to like a tropical community fish. So you really don't have to worry about that. I would always recommend buying like a 10 gallon isolation tank. It's actually a really good idea for needs like this, or a fish catches a certain illness like fin rot or ick or something like that. But yeah, I'd always recommend buying one of these. I mean, this whole setup with the filter, the heater, and the tank itself is like $40–50 bucks, which is pretty dirt cheap for a tank. But yeah, when you set up your isolation tank, make sure you have a lot of scenery like I do. I know it's little kiddie stuff for the most part, but it really does look nice in person. It's real bright looking. It makes the cichlid's color really like step out. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to shoot me a PM or shoot me a comment. I do work with fish for a living, so I know quite a bit. I mean, I'm only 20 years old, but I do know a lot. I've been raising cichlids since I was about 10. So I do know quite a bit about these guys. If you have any questions about breeding or aggression, feeding, anything, just let me know. I should be posting a new video soon. I'm probably getting a couple more cichlids within the next week or two. Again, send me or post what kind of cichlid you think I should get. I'm kind of looking towards South Americans for a new tank. I'm not completely sure yet, but I'm thinking about some South Americans like a paracichlid or something along those lines. But yeah, if you guys want to shoot me some videos or something too as well, let me know. Again, thanks for watching my video, and really hope you guys enjoyed it.